everybody, so today I have another video for you in my top 5 series. So this is going to be my top 5 lipsticks and blushes for the autumn, fall, winter period. So the 2 seasons really, because I do think they merge together and I think there's a lot of crossovers that I would use in both seasons, and that's why I've done it this way. So it's been really hard to narrow these down to just 5 in each category, but I've done my best, and there's probably lots of good ones not in this, as I'm sure you'd know from the collections you've already got yourselves. There's so many good options, but I want to show you my absolute top 5 in both. So I cannot wait to get started with this. And if you're new to this channel, my name's Hannah. I'm 47, not a professional, just somebody who loves makeup and beauty. And here on my channel, I like to show you my favourite looks, review the latest products, and give you any beauty news you might be interested in. If you think you'd enjoy any of this content, I do upload here regularly, and I would love it so very much if you liked and subscribed to my channel. And if you're already subscribed, welcome back. I appreciate you all so very much. And my skin tone, if that's helpful for matching up with colours, I've got fair to light skin with neutral undertones and blue eyes. Anyway, that's enough about me. Let's get on with this video. So before I dive straight into my review of favourite lipsticks and blushes, I just wanted to show you this pillow I have shown you before on my channel. This is the Sleep and Glow Omnia pillow. Now they've just increased my discount, so I think my discount previously was £15 off a single purchase of the pillow and 10% off everything on the website. And they've increased that to 15% off everything on the website up until November the 30th. So I wanted to jump on and show you this straight away because this pillow is phenomenal, and it's a really good discount because you don't often get discounts that big off these. So I just wanted to let you know you can now get 15% off the Omnia pillow. And if you're not familiar with this pillow, this is a pillow which basically allows your head to lie on here. And if you see, as your head lies down, your face here is not being squashed. There's no pressure. That's the whole concept of this pillow. This space here allows for your face to have that breathing space, so that the skin here, where you get all of your wrinkles and where we have all these problem areas, not just in the eyes but around the nose and around the mouth, it allows for those areas to lie completely relaxed, so they're not creasing. And that's what's so good about this pillow. It's not only good for neck and head support as well, and super comfortable and soft, but most of all, which is the reason I use it and the reason it's so popular, it's because it really helps. And there's been noticeable results from clinically proven studies where you can really see how people's wrinkles and creases in these areas have improved phenomenally over time. And certainly for me, I notice a considerable difference when I don't use this, like when I'm on holiday if I can't take it with me. Although it's light enough to put into a case, if I can show you, it's a bit hard to see on this screen here, but it's not that big if you look at it next to me, and it's quite lightweight. I do actually have the extra layer in here which you add on, it's optional. So you can have the pillow just sort of this thickness, but I've added the extra layer, which is an optional layer if you just want it to be a little bit thicker. So one of the other things they've actually sent me to show you today is I've got the standard super soft pillowcase on mine at the moment, which is absolutely beautiful, but they have sent me this one, which I'm really looking forward to trying. So I just thought I'd show it to you, seeing as I've got this discount. So this one is called the Tencel and Copper. Now, as far as I know, this one is just the Tencel, so that's that super soft breathable material, but this one has the copper. Now, I think when you actually look at it, you won't see a difference. It's obviously the material. So let's take a look. So this feels, let me compare. It's got more of a silky feel to it, slightly more silky soft, if that's possible, because the other one is so soft, but this one definitely has a slightly softer finish. And the reason that this is such an important pillowcase is because this contains copper, which has an antibacterial property. So it's particularly good for your skin and for the hygiene of your face in general. The copper in this pillowcase can kill up to 99.9% of bacteria. So we're getting the softness from the Tencel, and then we're getting the copper preventing any sort of bacteria from getting through, really protecting your skin from those issues that can develop if any bacteria is present, especially at night when it's really having time to work on your skin and give you those sort of problem blemishes and things. So I think this is a fabulous idea, I really do. So you can pick this one up at the moment for 15% off. And this pillowcase is £57, so getting that 15% off is really, really helpful. And I do believe there's an actual pillow with a case, which is in the copper range, so you can actually have a pillow with the materials with the case as well. So lots of different options. You don't have to go for the Omnia as it is, you can go for the copper pillow with the copper case. So definitely worth looking through their website, because this is a real game changer. These have phenomenal reviews. I highly recommend looking up reviews online so you can see what I mean, but they really do. They are so good. They are super comfortable, but most importantly, they can help prevent these problem areas that we all try to get rid of with so many creams and devices. But you can actually prevent it by just sleeping comfortably at night in the right position, with this part of your face completely prevented from being squashed and wrinkled up at night, which I think is so good. And I can tell you, I'm somebody who suffers with neck problems quite easily. This is so good for my neck. It's super comfortable. I've never had any issues with my neck when I'm using this pillow. So thank you very much anyway to Sleep and Glow for increasing that discount code for me to give to you, and I really hope you find it useful if you're thinking of getting it, or maybe treating yourself or someone else for Christmas. This would be a fabulous gift, I think, for anybody. It really is something that lots of people would really benefit from. So I have my discount code now showing on the screen, and if you want to use that discount code, please do. It is all yours right through till November the 30th. And after the 30th, you can still use my discount code from previous. It's actually listed in my description below. I think I keep it there for every single video for you, which gives you that £15 off any pillow all year round and 10% off the website. So if you're watching this after November the 30th, you can still get that discount, but you won't be getting the 15% off site-wide. Anyway, I just wanted to mention that to you, and I really hope you find that useful. Anyway, let's get on with my video. So I'm going to start with blushes. So at number 5, I've got the Merit Flush Balm. Now they've just launched this trio, not duo, for Christmas. So I will actually show you all three, but there's one in particular for me that stands out as a perfect autumn and winter sort of shade. So this is a perfect set if you want to go for some small ones, just to try these out from Merit. So this is definitely not one I'd advise for autumn. This is Stockholm. This is more of an everyday sort of blush, really, goes with everything. And then this one is Bespoke, and this is one of their new ones that only come in this trio, I believe, at the moment. So here is Bespoke, and you can see this is definitely moving into the sort of autumn winter shades. And then lastly we have Mood, and this is the one that I think is autumn in a blush. Isn't that a perfect shade? You could mix and match these. Now the reason these are going to come in as 5th for me is because they don't have as much longevity. So these are blushes that do need to be topped up unless you're happy to powder down and put some more on top again, which is another way of locking this in. So you can sort of it's not under paint, under powder. So today I've got absolutely nothing on my cheeks apart from a tiny bit of foundation. So I am going to be showing you how these look. I'm actually just going to do it on one side to reduce the amount of makeup I'm taking off here. So I'll just get my, where is it? BK Beauty 109, and I'm just going to swipe this onto my cheek like this. So this is going directly now onto just foundation, like I said, not powder. I've got no bronzer on my cheeks, no contour, nothing at all. So you're going to see this blush completely on its own. And you can see how easily this just blends in. And it's not overly pigmented. When you see it, it looks really strong, but this will work well for fair skin. So you can build this up though, and it'll give you quite a natural glowy finish, the Merit one. So like I said, you could powder this down and then pop a bit on top of the powder to get that longevity. And then you will still get that glow if you finish with this on top of the powder. I'm going to take some on the brush and just add a little bit more, showing you how this looks built up. So this is a rich sort of plum shade, I would say, but I think it's a really lovely autumn shade. So there we have Mood from Merit. What do you think of that? I think it's really beautiful, and I think as well you could use it together with this one. In fact, why don't I just do a little bit of that just to show you. So this one is the one called Bespoke. So I would probably go with this shade more on the sort of lower part of the cheek, and then have the plum more at the top, but it shows how you can work the two together. So I've just tapped around the edges. You can see how this really fades away. It's a very, very sort of subtle blush. I find with all the Merit blushes, they're a very natural, subtle finish. They're not overly pigmented, very manageable, but they can be built up, like I said, a bit, but they don't have the longevity that you get from other blushes. But I do think these shades are just perfect really for this time of year. So there's the two of them mixed together there. And now at number 4, I'm going to move into one that will actually allow me to colour my lips a little bit, which they desperately need because they need some colour. So this is the Charlotte Tilbury. This is the Pillow Talk Lip and Cheek Glow, and this is in the colour of Passion. So this isn't one of her new ones that launched earlier this year. There were a lot of shades in this range that were launched, which are beautiful, but I think they're more summery shades. This one, Colour of Passion, is one to bring out every autumn and winter because it is just a perfect option. So I'm just going to clean off the 109 brush and take some on the 109, and you'll see exactly what I mean. This has got more pigment straight away, you can see, than the Merit. But look at this for a colour for autumn. I have to say I prefer that as soon as I apply it compared to the Merit. I think it just immediately blends out a bit more easily, a bit more pigment, but not to say I don't like the Merit. The Merit has its place, but more for, I think, a casual look. So it's really just sort of casual, everyday makeup Merit. That's how I've always viewed Merit makeup. This one could be worn for a more polished finish because you are going to get a bit more longevity out of this blush, even though it's a cream, and you're getting a bit more pigment. But the shades are not massively different, are they? But building this up, straight away you see that pop of pigment there. So this is another one you could powder on top and then add this on top of the powder, like with the Merit, which is something I do quite often with cream blushes. But also what I like to do is put a cream down, then powder, and use a powder blush as my powder. So you can sort of set it with another blush. Sometimes you could go for a lighter blush if you want to sort of lock in the colour and not really alter it. And with this Colour of Passion, because it's lip and cheeks, I can do my lips. Now this isn't in the category of my top 5 lipsticks, which will be coming straight after the blusher, but I just wanted to show you how you can use this together. And my lips needed a bit of colour, they really did. So it's nice to have that sort of connected look where your cheeks and lips match. I really do like that. So that is Colour of Passion. But again, I've slightly taken it down. I keep going over it with my Charlotte Tilbury. It's actually the bronzer brush, but I always use it to go around the edges so it calms it down. But you've seen how this can be built up. So there we have Colour of Passion, which I think with the lips is a perfect shade for this time of year. So now I'm going to take off the blushes and I'll leave the lip actually just so I've got a bit of colour, and I'll show you my next two. So in 3rd position is a very new one actually. This was actually launched with the new Icy Nude release from Huda. This is the blush filter, which I already love this formula. I really enjoyed this when they launched earlier this year, and I enjoyed it in the summer, the sort of shades I had. This one is the first, there's 2 different shades which are bronzer and blush, so bronzers you could call them. So this one is Latte. There is a different one, I think it might be called Cocoa, so you can use that for deeper complexions. But this one I really do like. So if I have no bronzer on, which I currently don't at all on my cheeks, you'll see now how this does quite a good job of giving me a bronzing shade. I wouldn't use this as a bronzer all over the face by any means, but it's giving me a sort of reddy brown cheek. So you don't need to have bronzer particularly in this area because it's going to do the job of both. And I have used this a lot. I've used this a lot for underpainting specifically. So when I'm going in with my contour and my blush before I powder. When I say underpainting, generally with me, when I underpaint, I don't tend to go under the foundation, but I do go underneath powder and then top it up with powdered bronzer. So I quite like this one as one that I can use just as one underneath a powder. but it's also very nice like this, and it is one that sits nicely on top of powder as well. It's a very versatile formula. So as I keep saying with the ones I've shown you, because if you notice, all my favourites are creams at the moment, or at least liquids or creams. So yeah, I do like to powder and then add more on top when I'm looking for that locked in shade, and this one works beautifully for that. And this colour I think is one of the best colours I've tried all season for this time of year. I think it's absolutely perfect. I love the glow it gives. I love how easily it mixes in, and it is just giving me that sort of autumnal, slightly wintry shade. So I think it is perfect, a real winner for me from Huda. So that's my number 3. And at number 2, and this was a really close number 1. In fact, I think this was my number 1 in my holiday collection review of blushes. It was either 2 or 1, I can't remember now. I've got a feeling it was number 1. I should know, shouldn't I? But I'm pretty certain this was number 1, and this is the one from MAC. This is the metallic blush that launched with their holiday collection. This is in Coveted Coral. This is the SKINFINISH Metallic Cream Blush. This is stunning. I absolutely love this. So this isn't the Glow Play range blush, but it works in a very similar way to that, to be fair. I love the sort of rich metallic finish you get from this. So it's called Coveted Coral, but it's like a deep coral. Certainly not like a summery coral by any means, and that metallic finish, I just think this is one of the most perfect shades for this time of year. Look at this shade, isn't it beautiful? And I just love that metallic shine. I don't need to have any sort of highlighter with this. I mean, I can, but I certainly wouldn't need to, because it's giving me a really nice shine, quite a complementary sort of shine for mature skin as well. So if you're someone who is worried about using highlighters, this is a good way of getting that glow and shine without emphasizing texture. So it's like a highlighter and blush all in one. And it certainly serves as bronzing shade as well, as this one did. So I don't think I would particularly need a bronzer on this part of the face, even though I usually put a little bit. I'd certainly have a bit of contour here and just going up the edges of the face. But I have kept that off today, so just to show you exactly how these look straight on the skin with nothing else. That is Coveted Coral. Isn't it a beautiful, beautiful shade? So these applications are not particularly perfect because I'm wiping them straight off, but hopefully this is giving you a good idea of how they look. So there's the MAC Coveted Coral and the Huda Latte. Again, pretty similar. You can see my favourite shades are very, very samey, aren't they? But I just think they are so perfect for this time of year. Anyway, I'm going to take these both off now and show you my number 1. Now for the number 1 blush for me for autumn and winter. And this is the new formula from Chanel and in the shade Rose Radiance. This is their JOUES Contrast Intense. This is a absolutely beautiful formula. So this one is cream to powder. So it's the only one that I'm showing you today that actually finishes as a powder. So it's doing the job of everything I thought you need to do with the others, where you need to put that powder in. So it's actually almost like a self-setting cream when you think about it. So it starts off as a cream, but soon becomes a powder. So this does not have a sticky finish. So this shade I think is particularly good for this time of year. So this is the only one out of all the blushes I've shown you that has a little bit more of a sort of pink edge to it. They've all been quite sort of brown and deeper, I would say, but I think that this is absolutely beautiful. It's deep enough to be fitting for this time of year, I think, but it's giving you that really lovely flush, that being out in the cool flush. But look at the perfected finish of this formula. So you are getting a little bit of a glow with this. If you haven't tried this formula, honestly, I think it probably is the best formula that's launched this year in my opinion when it comes to blushes. So I am putting this one on both sides because this is my last one. But yes, this is one, it doesn't need to be set. You can just completely leave it. You don't need to touch it. No tackiness. Your hair will not stick to your face after this is set down, and it sets down quite quickly. But it gives you a lovely, lovely glow. I mean, look at it. It is absolutely stunning, isn't it? And I just think it's that sort of perfect shade for this time of year. If you wanted to go for that sort of cold girl effect and slightly take it over the nose as well, it's going to work really nicely for that. I'm not going to go mad with that, but I'm just showing you really. I quite like to do that this time of year. Gives you a real natural flush. I will take this one up a little bit closer to the eyes, seeing as I'm not having to remove my makeup this time, so this will be my finished look of the day. I do like to take my blush there just slightly into the eyes so it just sort of joins together just by there. So again, this is going on with no bronzer whatsoever. I do have a little bit of bronze powder in the forehead, but I haven't got any coming down on the cheeks. So this is showing you exactly how this looks directly on, and already no tackiness whatsoever, which I love about this. So this formula, honestly, I highly recommend it, and I think this shade Rose Radiance is perfect for autumn and winter. I think it's a really nice sort of Christmassy shade as well, actually, but yeah, perfect. So now moving on to my top 5 lipsticks, and again I'm starting at number 5 with Merit. So this is their holiday release. These are the 3 matte lipsticks that they've launched with their holiday collection. So we have, I'll show you all 3 shades. This one is Du Jour. That wouldn't be my top pick for autumn. And the next one is Bespoke. This one I think is much more suitable for this time of year. And the last one is Black Tie. So this is a lovely, lovely selection of lipsticks. So I think Black Tie and Bespoke are both really, really beautiful. It's in fact hard to choose one of the two as my favourite for this time of year, because I think they both work really, really nicely. Maybe in fact this would make it 6 in my review, so I shouldn't really do this, but let's go ahead and cheat. So I'm going to put Bespoke on first, and I'd say this is more autumn than winter. If you're not familiar with these mattes, they are the creamiest, most beautiful mattes, probably the best matte formula for creaminess on the market in my opinion. So there we have Bespoke. So I think this is a perfect everyday autumnal shade, which is why I probably wouldn't have picked it. But because this is autumn / winter, I'm actually showing you the both. So this is still number 5, but I'm going to show you the other one, which is more wintry. So it's really the collection itself that's coming in at number 5, apart from this lighter shade here. I just think both of these are really good for switching up different looks this time of year and matching your makeup. So now going with Black Tie, which is the deepest of the 3. And using the fine edge of this as a sort of liner. Isn't that a beautiful shade? So this could be obviously autumn as well, but I think this works for winter specifically. So there we have Black Tie. What do you think of that one? I think it is beautiful, and again, so creamy and comfortable, but a really, really perfect shade for this time of year. So I highly recommend this whole trio actually. Like I said, the lightest shade very much every day, but it would also move you into spring. So you're getting almost 3 months with this collection, not 3 months, 3 seasons. So you can go autumn, winter and into spring. So it's a really, really good collection. It's actually a bargain because you're getting them for less by picking up the holiday pack. So really loved that one actually, and I'm really glad I got it. So at number 4, I've got a Charlotte Tilbury shade. This is from the Super Nudes Matte Revolution range, and this is the colour Super Fabulous, which I think is just a perfect everyday sort of shade. Not so much an evening glamour, but we are really looking more at sort of everyday shades for these, which go with all your autumn winter looks. You can see that this is the perfect sort of shade for these seasons. So this again being a matte but still creamy. So I'll just put this one on. I think this would benefit from a liner, but I don't have a liner to hand that I would recommend with this. But if I was going to suggest one, it would probably be the Lisa Eldridge 0N or 1N, the neutral. I think that would go very well with this. Actually feels as creamy as the Merit. So when I said the Merit matte is the creamiest, I think these are they're on par actually. This is a beautiful matte, really comfortable, really complimentary on the lips. It's not one that emphasizes lines at all, which the Merit didn't either actually. They're both fabulous formulas. And you can't go wrong with Charlotte Tilbury. Absolutely one of the best lipsticks out there, aren't they? But this shade I just think is perfect for this time of year. So definitely one to have and use with almost every single look at this time of year. I think it's perfect and it's so easy to apply. Just pop this one in your bag and you can just top up whenever you like because it's just super, super easy. And looking at it, I don't think it desperately needs a liner. I just have this sort of pale area here where I always feel I need a liner. So maybe a neutral brown would be a good shout with this if you're going to use a liner. But anyway, here is Super Fabulous, and isn't it fabulous? So at number 3 we have MAC. Could not have a top 5 lipstick without a MAC lipstick. This is the Maximal Silky Matte formula, and this is in the shade Taupe. And again, like the Charlotte Tilbury Super Fabulous, this is one of those colours that will just go with everything this time of year. It's a really perfect one to fit in with any of your looks. And this is one, I have actually got liners here. This isn't particularly a liner review, but I wanted to show you 2 that I think work quite sort of well with these, and I will try one of them on. So the first one I'm swatching here is the shade Oak. So there's Oak. And the other one is Spice, which I'm sure you've already heard of. One of the most popular shades. So it's almost a match Spice. They're pretty much the same colour. So it's whether you want to go for that sort of dimensional look by having the Oak on the outside and this on the inside. So I think I'll try that just to show you, but if you put Spice, I think it would work very nicely just to sort of match it up and give you that perfected edge. So I'll start with the Oak today. And the MAC liner is very creamy, very easy to apply and really long lasting. One of the best lip liner formulas on the market. So now putting the Taupe on. So the Maximal Silky Matte, this is their newest formula. And again, a bit like the ones I've just shown you, they are creamier. I think this is definitely the fashion now that they are changing formulas. So MAC has changed their matte formula to this Maximal. It's the new formula and it's just creamier. I'd say it's not quite as creamy as the Merit and Charlotte Tilbury, but really, really close. And as comfortable though, as comfortable quite easily. Isn't that a perfect shade for this time of year? So I think this is great to use in autumn, but certainly as you're moving into slightly richer tones, it's got a little bit more of that. So moving into winter, it's a transition autumn to winter shade as well. So it would cover you for both seasons in my opinion. I really, really like this one and it will go with most looks this time of year. Beautiful formula. Very comfortable, slightly longer lasting I'd say than the Charlotte Tilbury or the Merit because it's a little bit more grippy and a little bit less creamy, but still very hydrating. I certainly don't feel I need to reach for any sort of gloss or lip balm, which is really good considering I'm taking off so much lipstick, and I'm not putting any balm on in between these applications by the way, which I probably would normally. And the reason I'm not is because every lipstick I'm trying on has been so creamy. My lips are feeling really comfortable with me taking off and putting on again. So that's a good sign of a very good lipstick in my opinion. So now at number 2. Now this is a tricky one for me to choose one of the shades, but I think there's probably 2 standouts, but I'm going to show you 4 so you can decide for yourself. This is one of my favourite lip formulas that has launched this year and now one of my favourite formulas ever, and this is from Fenty, the Gloss Bomb Sticks. So these are a sort of lipstick gloss bomb combined and made into a lipstick, so you are getting maximum hydration and shine. I love these, I absolutely love them. I do actually have every single colour, all of them sitting there, they never leave my desk. But these are the 4 I've picked out that I think would be quite suitable for this time of year. So I'm going to swatch them on the back of my hand and then I'm going to try on the one I think is the best of all of them. But I want you to see them all because they are so good. So this one is the shade Riri. So there's Riri. You can see the difference in formula here. We're getting that gloss mixed in with the lipstick. And then we have Spice Cold. So there is Spice Cold. It's hard to see because the shine is almost taken away from the colour there with my studio lights. But anyway, hopefully you're getting a good look of the colour. Then we have Hot Chocolate, which is a real contender for one of the best ones for this time of year. There's Hot Chocolate. A really rich colour that, I love it. And then we have Black Berry, and this is one that launched after the original launch, so it was launched on its own as an extra addition to the collection. I think it actually came out in autumn. And here is Black Berry. So all four I think are perfect for this time of year. You could really chop and choose between all of them depending on the look you're going for. But if I had to choose my ultimate favourite shade out of these four for this time of year, I think it would just about be Blackberry. Very, very hard to pick a winner there, but I will try this on. I think I will put some sort of liner on. I did have I've got the Fenty Beauty Peanut Butter, but I'm not sure if that will go. Have a bit more of a red. I do have a few of their liners. I think I will go with Satin Panty. This is a shade I've used many times. I'll show you how this looks. There is Satin Panty. So I think this liner would go with all three of these actually. So I'm going to put this on, and these liners, by the way, are creamier than anything I've got in my collection, but they have the longevity. They are beautiful. And really packing that pigment look. So now I'm going to take the Blackberry. These also smell delicious. They have a sort of fruity, sweet smell, which I love. I know not everyone loves that, but I really do. So there we have Blackberry. Isn't that a beautiful, beautiful colour for this time of year? And definitely transitioning autumn to winter. This works for both. I think it's probably the deepest, isn't it, out of the four I've shown you. So this one, like I said, you could have these four from Fenty and they will take you through the seasons, the 2 seasons, and you'll be able to mix and match. They are so beautiful. And if you're somebody who likes to apply a gloss on top, you just don't need to with this. You've got it. You've got your colour and you've got your gloss all in one. I love them. I would say the longevity on these is less than anything else I've shown you, so it is worth keeping that in mind because this does come off quite easily and you will need to reapply. That's the only slight snag about this. So it's not one I'd feel quite as confident wearing if I was going out for a lengthy amount of time and I don't have access to a mirror or something. So that's a slight snag with these. But on the whole, this is an absolutely gorgeous formula, and every time I apply it, I love it. I love the way it looks, I love the way it feels, the way it smells, I like the packaging. I love the way that they actually have the colour of the lipstick on the outer edge. It's so easy for me to pick which colour I want from my lipsticks over here. So yeah, these are absolute winners for me. I love them. So yeah, I love this shade, and I love that hot chocolate one as well. I think it's very difficult to choose between these two for the winner here, but yeah, beautiful. So at number 1, this was actually in the holiday collections, and this is perfect, I think, for both seasons. This is the beautiful, beautiful lipstick here from Givenchy in the shade 502 Brun Cuivre. Cuivre? I'm not sure how you say that. Apologies, my useless French again. Look at this shade. Isn't this absolutely perfect? Described as a light, slightly pinkish brown. And this is a limited edition. So I'll show you this on the back of my hand. Again, the formula on this is stunning, really silky smooth, but look at that colour. This is autumn and winter in a lipstick. It will take you through to both. It made me think autumn when I tried it on, but it's got that slightly reddish tone to it, so it's moving you into winter, and I just think it's perfect for so many looks. So let's just get this straight on. Isn't that absolutely beautiful? And this formula, by the way, is their Rouge Interdit Intense Silk, if you know that formula. So it's extremely silky, very, very glowy. It's a beautiful, beautiful formula, packed full of skincare, again, like everything else. Probably definitely the silkiest. Silk is such a perfect description for this formula because it is the silkiest, softest out of everything I've tried, and trust me, as you've probably noticed, everything I've tried has been so hydrating and silky soft, but this one is the softest. This one has a bit more longevity than the Fenty, but it has as much hydration. Obviously you don't get quite as much of a glow, but you are getting quite a bit of a glow. It's definitely one that doesn't require any sort of gloss, anything added to it. And this is just perfection with so many autumn and winter looks. I absolutely adore this one. This was quite an easy choice for number 1, to be honest. Now I haven't put any sort of reds in here. If you've seen any of my Christmas favourites in the Christmas releases, that's because I've sort of considered those more Christmas looks. I've tried to go for looks that I think are more flattering for the sort of everyday, regular autumn winter makeup, rather than going specifically for those sort of deeper red shades that you might go for the real party, New Year party, Christmas party looks. There are some true winners for me in the red ranges, but this is more about fitting in with all the looks for autumn winter, and this is my number one. And it certainly works very nicely with the Rose Radiant, which I probably wouldn't have paired together in all honesty, but I think it looks really good with it. So that's a bit of a surprise, because I always think maybe my blush should be a little bit more of a browny shade like the earlier blushes I tried on, but I think it works really nice with Rose Radiant. I really like that, so that was a nice surprise. So what do you think of everything I've shown you today? Have you seen any of your favourites? Probably one of the biggest surprises for me with the blushes anyway was the fact that there were so few powders. So there have been some real winners for me this year in formula and in shade with the liquid and cream blushes. That's not to say there aren't some fabulous blushes in powder form for the autumn winter period, but in all honesty my favourites were launched last year, so I was trying to show you my new sort of favourites, the ones that I've been reaching for the most lately. So, and one of my favourites from last year is no longer available from Dior. I probably would have added that one in if it wasn't for the fact that you can't buy it anymore, so I didn't think it was fair. But there is one, in fact it's sitting on my desk right now, this one from Dior, which launched last year with their autumn release, I believe, number 537 Grand Bowl Satin. This would probably be up there with one of my absolute top blush shades. I love this, I love the glow it leaves, and I love the colour. So if you've got this in your collection and you've forgotten about it, please, please dig this one out and wear it this time of year, because it is perfect. But if you look at my top autumn makeup look video, which I released a few weeks ago, I'm pretty certain I applied this one in that video, so you can see it in action. But I haven't included that because it's no longer available. So there we have it, that is the end of this video. I would love to hear your thoughts. Have I missed out any of your top fives? Which ones would you have included? Can you recommend any that you haven't maybe seen me review before that I don't know about? I would love to hear your thoughts. What are your favourite autumn and winter lipstick and blushes? I love this time of year, I love these shades, they really are my favourite sort of colours. They make me so happy. Not to say I don't love spring and autumn, spring and summer, but I love autumn winter shades, they are my favourites. So I can't stop looking at my lipstick now, I love it, honestly. So I'm really happy with them, and I would love to hear your thoughts. And if you've enjoyed this video, I would love it so much if you subscribe to my channel. And if you're already subscribed and you're at the end of another one of my videos, I appreciate you all so very much. Thank you for being here. And I do hope to see all of you again for my next video. Take care everybody, bye.